Welcome. Today we're diving into cold exposure and recovery. Does it actually help? We see elite athletes plunging into ice. Is it hype or science? We'll explore the question. Our mission is to cut through the noise and get to the science. We'll break down the mechanisms from blood vessels to hormones. We'll see what research says about muscle soreness, inflammation, and real-world benefits. Let's break the ice. Let's explore the fascinating relationship between cold exposure and recovery. We'll examine the immediate biological responses like vasoconstriction and its application for athletes such as muscle recovery. We will dissect the science, looking at inflammation and muscle damage markers. Crucially, we'll address the potential for cold exposure to blunt muscle growth. The benefits extend to the mind. Mastering your body's panic response builds psychological resilience. This practice can reshape your brain's response to stress, forging a stronger mind. Finally, we'll equip you with the knowledge to safely implement this practice. From cold showers to ice baths, we'll provide guidelines for maximum benefit. When plunged into cold water, your body reacts instantly, triggering survival mechanisms. Vasoconstriction occurs, blood vessels narrow, reducing blood flow to the skin, arms, and legs. This redirects blood inward, protecting vital organs, minimizing heat loss and maintaining core temperature. Upon warming, vasodilation happens, blood vessels reopen, oxygen-rich blood rushes back, flushing out waste. This constriction and dilation cycle stimulates the vascular system, aiding recovery. Understanding vasoconstriction is crucial to appreciating cold exposure's profound impact. After intense exercise, muscles become inflamed as part of the natural repair process. Cold exposure acts like a brake, managing inflammation and reducing swelling. The cold slows metabolic activity and reduces inflammatory signals. Cold exposure also dampens nerve signals, providing pain relief, like a natural anesthesia. By reducing inflammation and pain, cold therapy helps athletes recover faster. It creates a better environment for efficient muscle repair with less discomfort. Cold exposure helps recovery by reducing inflammation and pain, but there's an even more powerful mechanism: hormetic stress. Like lifting weights damages muscles to make them stronger, cold exposure is a beneficial stressor. It shocks your system, triggering the release of norepinephrine. This hormone dramatically increases alertness, focus, and mood. Repeated exposure trains your nervous system to handle stress efficiently. You're forging a stronger, more resilient physiology, improving mood and stress management. Hormetic stress unlocks the deepest benefits of cold exposure, leading to active adaptation for a more robust you. After intense training, your muscles develop tiny injuries called microtears, an essential part of building strength. This damage triggers your body's repair process, but it also leads to delayed onset muscle soreness, or DOMS, that deep ache you feel a day or two after working out. Cold exposure, like ice baths, can help by numbing pain and reducing soreness, letting you move more comfortably and recover faster. The cold constricts blood vessels, limiting swelling and pressure that worsen soreness. By managing inflammation early, ice baths create a better environment for muscle repair. This means less pain, less swelling, and a quicker return to normal activity. For athletes, this can be the difference between missing a session and staying on track. Instead of being sidelined by soreness, you can keep training and performing at your best. That's why ice baths are a go-to recovery tool for anyone pushing their limits. Muscle damage from exercise releases markers like creatine kinase, CK, into your blood. Studies show that cold water immersion after workouts can significantly lower these markers, not just mask pain. By slowing metabolism and reducing inflammation, ice baths help limit further muscle damage. This means less leakage of CK and faster recovery at the cellular level. Cold exposure isn't just about feeling better, it's a proven way to speed up muscle repair. For athletes, this means bouncing back faster and training harder, with science to back it up. Using ice baths strategically can minimize the toll of intense training. It's a powerful, evidence-based tool for recovery. Here's the catch. While ice baths reduce soreness, they can also blunt muscle growth if used right after lifting. The inflammation you feel post-workout actually signals your body to build new muscle. Jumping into an ice bath too soon can dampen this signal, limiting gains. Research shows that immediate cold exposure after resistance training can reduce muscle and strength growth over time. The solution? Time your ice baths wisely. If muscle growth is your goal, wait at least 4 to 6 hours after lifting before using cold therapy. Or save ice baths for rest days to get the benefits without interfering with muscle building. Strategic timing lets you recover without sacrificing your hard-earned progress. Cold exposure strategies depend on your training goals. For endurance athletes, immediate post-workout ice baths help manage inflammation and speed up recovery, crucial for back-to-back sessions or competitions. The slight reduction in muscle growth isn't a big deal for runners or cyclists focused on performance and volume. For strength athletes, though, immediate cold exposure can hinder muscle gains. The best approach? Avoid ice baths for several hours after lifting, or use them on rest days. This way, you protect muscle-building signals, while still benefiting from reduced inflammation and faster recovery. Plan your cold exposure around your training schedule. Endurance athletes can use it right after hard sessions. Strength athletes should wait or use it on off days. With the right timing, you get the best of both worlds, faster recovery and maximum gains. It's all about matching your recovery tools to your goals. Stepping into freezing water isn't just physical, it's a mental battle. Your instincts scream to escape, but overcoming that urge is where real growth happens. The first moments are pure fight or flight, but calming your breath and staying put builds mental strength. Each time you conquer the cold, you train your brain to stay calm under stress. This practice forges resilience and self-control, skills that carry over into every part of life. Slow, deep breathing in the cold activates your body's relaxation system, countering panic. Mastering this response in the ice gives you a powerful tool for handling stress anywhere. Cold exposure is as much about mental toughness as it is about recovery. Cold exposure doesn't just toughen your body, it rewires your brain. Facing discomfort in the ice strengthens your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for willpower and discipline. Each time you resist the urge to quit, you're building mental muscle. Studies show that practices like cold immersion can boost brain areas linked to focus and emotional control. This repeated challenge builds grit, the ability to stick with tough goals. That's why so many high performers use cold exposure to start their day. It proves they can overcome resistance. Winning the morning with a cold plunge sets a tone of confidence and control. The discipline you build in the ice carries over to work, training, and life's challenges. Cold exposure is a daily exercise in willpower, with real, lasting benefits. The mental toughness forged in the ice bath becomes transferable skills that permeate every aspect of your life. Life is full of uncomfortable, stressful, and challenging situations. By practicing with a controlled stressor like the cold, you are rehearsing for life's challenges. You are building a universal skill set for dealing with adversity. The ice bath becomes your training ground. Ultimately, cold exposure becomes a powerful metaphor for life. On the other side of that discomfort lies growth, adaptation, and a profound sense of accomplishment. It is about building a more robust, resilient version of yourself. The therapeutic use of cold isn't new. Its roots stretch back thousands of years to ancient Egypt, where cold was used to treat inflammation. Hippocrates, around 400 BC, prescribed cold water for pain and fevers. Romans embraced bathing, using frigidariums, cold water pools, for wellness. Cultures like Japan with misogi and Nordic Slavic traditions used cold for spiritual and physical resilience. These traditions show a universal understanding of cold's impact on body and mind. This history provides a foundation for modern science to validate ancient wisdom. So, cold therapy's resurgence can be credited to Wim Hof, the Iceman. Hof captured attention with feats of endurance in extreme cold. Hof's mission was to show that these abilities were accessible to anyone through the Wim Hof method. The method combines cold therapy, breathing techniques, and commitment. Hof subjected himself to scientific scrutiny. A 2014 study demonstrated that he could consciously influence his immune response, challenging medical understanding. This validation, combined with Hof's charisma, created mainstream adoption. Thanks to Wim Hof, cold exposure is now a legitimate tool for health and personal growth. Applying cold exposure effectively requires a strategic approach to timing. For endurance athletes or anyone finishing a demanding cardiovascular session, the optimal window for a cold plunge is almost always immediately after the workout. Your primary goal is to kickstart the recovery process as quickly as possible, manage systemic inflammation, and reduce muscle soreness so you can train again soon. The same logic applies, perhaps even more critically, during competition. Your ability to recover between efforts is paramount to your success. Immediate cold water immersion is a powerful competitive advantage. Therefore, if your workout was primarily focused on cardiovascular endurance, or if you are in the middle of a competition, do not hesitate to embrace the cold as soon as you can. The goal is to manage the acute stress of the activity and accelerate your return to a state of readiness. For strength and hypertrophy, strategic cold exposure on rest days can be immensely beneficial. This reduces inflammation, improves nervous system recovery, and builds mental resilience without compromising muscle growth. Another effective strategy is morning cold exposure, like a cold shower. This triggers norepinephrine and dopamine release, boosting focus and mood. It provides clean energy and mental clarity, setting a positive tone for the day. Strategic timing is key for muscle building, endurance, and overall well-being. Approach cold exposure with respect. Diving into ice isn't necessary and can be negative. Gradual adaptation is key. Start with cold showers. It's a controlled way to build physical and mental tolerance. Week 1. Get acquainted. Finish your warm shower with 30 seconds of cold. Fight the urge to tense up. Exhale slowly. Repeat daily, increasing to 60 seconds as you're comfortable. Weeks 2 and 3, start with cold water. Center yourself with deep breaths, then step in. Aim for 1 to 2 minutes, controlling your breathing. Stand straight, let the water hit your chest and back, and breathe rhythmically. Transform it into mindful resilience. After consistent cold showers, you've built a strong foundation. Now consider a full ice bath, requiring more preparation for a profound experience. Aim for a controlled, safe first session. Start with a manageable water temperature around 10 to 15 degrees Celsius. Fill your tub with cold water and ice, checking the temperature. For your first time, duration is key. Aim for 2 to 3 minutes. Practice deep, slow breathing beforehand. Get in deliberately. Focus on your breath. Just focus on each slow exhale. When the timer goes off, get out calmly. You've completed your first ice bath. Keep a journal. Before and after each session, note how you're feeling. Track your energy, mood, and focus. This will become a powerful record of your progress. More cold exposure isn't always better. Like lifting weights, there's a Goldilocks zone. Aim for the minimum effective dose to get the benefits you want. Research suggests aiming for 15 minutes total weekly exposure split into 4 sessions. For ice baths, aim for 10, 15 degrees Celsius. Safety first. Listen to your body and never push past your limits. Never practice alone. If you have medical conditions, consult your doctor first. Prioritize safety to make cold exposure a sustainable part of your wellness routine. We've journeyed into the world of cold exposure, emerging with a clear understanding. The evidence is compelling. When used intelligently, cold exposure accelerates physical recovery and forges mental resilience. Each session builds confidence that we can remain calm and in control. From Hippocrates and Roman baths to modern techniques, cold therapy is enduring human intuition now validated by science. We have a roadmap for how to begin safely, creating a sustainable and effective practice. The truth is that this practice works, offering physical restoration and mental fortification. Now you understand what cold exposure does to your body. It sharpens your mind and accelerates your recovery. You have the science and a step-by-step guide to begin safely. True transformation happens when you move from knowledge to action. This is your invitation to step outside of your comfort zone and embrace the challenge. Start incorporating cold exposure into your weekly routine. If you seek a sharper mind and a more resilient spirit, the cold is waiting. Start your day by conquering this small, difficult task. It begins with a deep breath and turning the handle to cold. The power is in your hands. If you want faster recovery, better discipline, and a sharper mind, start adding cold exposure into your weekly routine. Like if you learned something new, subscribe for more science-based fitness content, and comment below. Have you ever tried an ice bath? Catch you next time, and until then, stay strong, stay sharp, and stay cold.